Good afternoon. My name is Eric Henry. I'm a 20-year resident of the city of Malden.
Good afternoon. My name is Nekita Lamour. I'm a 20-year resident of the city of Malden as well.
Hello, my name is Joe Gray. I'm the Ward 6 School Committee member and I'm a resident of Malden. This is a condensed and opening statement from Dr. Maulana Karanga, who is the founder and creator of Kwanzaa. As an African American and Pan-African holiday celebrated by millions throughout the world, African community, Kwanzaa brings a cultural message which speaks to the best of what it means to be African and human in the fullest sense. The holiday then will of necessity be engaged as an ancient and living cultural tradition which reflects the best of African thought and practice in its reaffirmation of the dignity of the human person in community and culture, the well-being of family and community, the integrity of the environment, and our kinship with it, and the rich resources and meaning of a people's culture. The holiday Kwanzaa is a product of creative cultural synthesis. That is to say, it is the product of critical selection and judicious mixture on several levels. First, Kwanzaa is a synthesis of both continental African and diasporal African cultural elements. This means that it is rooted in both the cultural values and practice of Africans on the continent and in the US, with strict attention to cultural authenticity and values for a meaningful, principled, and productive life. Secondly, the continental African components of Kwanzaa are a synthesis of various cultural values and practices from different continental African peoples. In a word, the values and practices of Kwanzaa are selected from peoples from all parts of Africa, south and north, west and east, in a true spirit of Pan-Africanism. And finally, Kwanzaa is a synthesis in the sense that it is based in both conception and self-conscious commitment on tradition and reason. Kawaida, the philosophy out of which Kwanzaa is created, teaches that all we think and do should be based on tradition and reason, which are in turn rooted in practice. Tradition is our grounding, our cultural anchor, and therefore our starting point. It is also cultural authority for any claims to cultural authenticity for anything we do and think as an African people. And reason is necessary critical thought about our tradition, which enables us to select, preserve, and build on the best of what we have achieved and produced in the light of our knowledge and our needs born of experience. Through reason, rooted in experience or practice, then we keep our traditions as an African people from becoming stagnant, sterile convention, or empty historical reference. Instead, our tradition becomes and remains a lived, living, and constantly expanded and enriched experience. Not all of the primary symbols of Kwanzaa will be here in this presentation. We will present an overview and general description of the various Kwanzaa principles.
Kikombe cha Umoja, the Unity Cup. This Unity Cup symbolizes the foundation of the principle and practice of unity, which makes everything else possible.
Muhandi, the corn. This is symbolic of our children and of our future, which they embody.
Kinara, the candle holder. This is symbolic of our roots, our parent people from continental Africa.
Mazeo, the crops. These are symbolic of African harvests, for celebrations, and of rewards of the productive and collective labor.
Mishuma Saba, the 7 candles. These are symbolic of the Goza Saba, the 7 principles, the matrix and minimum set of values which African people are urged to live by in order to rescue and reconstruct their lives in their own image and according to their own words. The 7 candles.
Nekita, the mat. The mat is symbolic of our tradition and history and therefore the foundation on which we build.
Additional information and supplemental symbols and rituals will be provided through the attached website.
Greetings during Kwanzaa are in Swahili. Swahili is a Pan-African language and is chosen to reflect African Americans' commitment to the whole of Africa and African culture rather than to a specific ethnic or national group or culture. The greetings are to reinforce awareness of and commitment to the 7 principles. It is Habari Gani, and the answer is each of the principles for each of the days of Kwanzaa. For example, Umoja on the first day, Kujichukulia on the second day, and so on.
The colors of Kwanzaa are black, red, and green. Black for the people, red for their struggle, and green for the future, and hope that comes from their struggle. Therefore, there is 1 black candle, 3 red, and 3 green candles. These are the Mishuma Saba, the 7 candles, and they represent the 7 principles. The black candle represents the first principle, Umoja, unity, and is placed at the center of the kinara. The red candles represent the principles of Kujikajula, self-determination, Ujama, cooperative economics, and Komba, creativity. They are placed to the left of the black candle. The green candles represent the principles of Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility, Nia, which means purpose, and Imani, faith. They are placed at the right of the black candle. The black candle is lit first on the first day of the celebration, and then the remaining candles are lit afterwards from left to right on the following days. This procedure is to indicate that the people come first, then the struggle, and then the hope that accompanies the struggle.
Get your water ready. Eric, you too.
Umoja, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, unity in the community, unity in the nation, and unity within the race.
The first red candle, Kujichaligla, self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and to speak for ourselves. Own your pronouns. It is okay to be angry. Your empathy and your sympathy are the foundations of your strength and your magic.
The green candle, Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain our community together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together.
The second red candle, which is lit on the fourth day of Kwanzaa, Ujamaa, cooperative economics. To build and maintain our own stores, shops and businesses, and to profit from them together. Economic stability was upended for the most of the country in 2020 through the circumstances of the coronavirus pandemic and of the racial uprisings that marked the late spring and summer. In response, people around the country stepped up to donate tens of thousands of dollars to initiatives that stood in the gap to provide food and other urgently needed resources to people struggling during the pandemic, building on a long tradition of Ujima in the African American community. Correction, building upon a strong tradition of Ujamaa in the African American community.
The green candle, Nia, which means purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness.
And the last red candle, Kumba, which is lit on the second to the last day of the celebration. Creativity. To do always as much as we can, in the way that we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. We are profoundly aware of the loss that we have collectively experienced in 2020. Life, property, fortunes. Be also aware that we have created more businesses in this year than we did in 2019. How will you use your talents to serve your community?
The last green candle, Imani, faith. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Let us not engage the world hurriedly. Let us not grasp at the rope of wealth impatiently. That which should be treated with mature judgment, let us not deal within a state of anger.
When we arrive at a cool place, let us rest fully. Let us give continuous attention to the future. And let us give deep consideration to the consequences of things and the consequences of our actions.
And this because of our eventual passing. This concludes our small Kwanzaa presentation. This event has been stripped down and modified for health and safety reasons. Please forgive us if the core pronunciations are heavy with our American accents. Thanks for joining our celebration.
Thank you for joining us. And I want to hope that the 7 principles that we just heard the words that we heard about Kwanzaa, we're not hearing them only today, but we will read them. We will go to the website, get the words, print it, read it, put it on your app, download the words, and make them part of our lives. Make the Kwanzaa principles part of our everyday life. Thank you. Happy Kwanzaa.
I would like to leave us with thoughts from a dear friend of mine, Dr. Hamad Incho, on his thoughts of Umoja, unity. The first day of Kwanzaa is dedicated to the principle of Umoja, to strive for and to maintain unity in the family, the community, and the race. This year, this day of unity falls in a period where simple acts of togetherness threaten all we hold dear. We do not gather in song to worship the Creator. We avoid those we love most because we love them most. And many of us, so very many of us, mourn a permanent loss of togetherness. Umoja reminds us that unity can exist when togetherness cannot. When some within our families headed north to escape racial violence during the Great Migration, while others remained, unity existed when togetherness could not. When we were sent to fight wars in foreign lands for a country that valued our lives less, we united in the fervent prayer for the safe return of our beloved ones. And unity existed when togetherness could not. And for us, even the Great Divide is porous, allowing regular communion with those on the other side. Thus, on this day of Umoja, and in this need of severe unity in our country, let us reside in the strength of our unity until we can all be together again. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.